Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Kay and today's video is the start of a new series for my channel. So I'm attempting this year to do a project pan. I've never done one before, but it is something that I've thought about doing for a while, so eager to give it a go. We'll see how we get on. But if you already know what project pan is and you just want to get into the products that I'm planning to start off the project with, then I'll leave a timestamp down below so that you can just skip ahead to that. But for those of you that aren't sure what a project pan is and you're thinking right now, what on earth is she talking about? Project pan is basically a little project that you set yourself to try and use some of the beauty or makeup products that you might want to either get some more use out of, or they're getting to the end of their life and you just want to try and use them up rather than wasting them and throwing them away. It's just a way for you to sort of incorporate those into your routines and use them up. So this isn't my idea. There's lots and lots of people that do project pans. You may notice that I'm using the hashtag teamprojectpan 2020 on my videos, and that is because I'm doing this alongside the ladies at Beauty News. So they've both got their own channel, Kitsch Snitch and Just Buy the Makeup. I'll link both of their channels down below. They've both got great videos on this, how to set it up. They've got a helpful spreadsheet you can access, and to be honest, they can probably explain this better than I can, but I'm doing it in a similar way to them, so that's why I'm using their hashtag, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So essentially what I'm doing is a rolling full face project pan. So I've got a full face of makeup in my little basket, so as and when I use up items in the project, I'll replace them with another item. So if I use a lipstick up, I'll put another lipstick in. If I finish an eyeliner, I'll put another eyeliner in. So it just keeps rolling on throughout the year. Every month I'm going to do a check-in video, so I'm going to let you guys know how I've got on, whether I've done well, whether I've not done so well, and I'll let you know how much of each product I've used throughout the month. For some things that's going to be easier to do than others. For instance, I've got a fixing spray here. It's going to be really easy for me to work out where I am. I can see the level in the bottle. I can put a little mark on the side and keep marking it every month as I'm using it. However, for things like a lip gloss, it's not quite so easy to tell that. This is something that I might have to weigh. Now my scales, they only weigh in 0.5 gram increments. So they're not going to be super accurate, but I'm hoping it's going to be enough so that I can see the progress that I'm making. There's some things that, like a lip pencil for instance, so for things like this, I'm literally going to, on a piece of paper, put a mark where it is, and each month just mark off on that piece of paper where I've got to. So every month there will be some sort of visual so that I can see, and I can show you guys as well, how much I've used a product or if I've not used a product at all. So that's essentially what a project pan is, and that's essentially how it's going to work. So like I said, I'm going to check in every month, but every 3 months I also want to do a bit of a refresh. So I'll have a look at what I'm using, see if it's still suitable for the time that I'm using it. For instance, the things I'm using in winter might not be suitable for spring. Things I'm using for spring might not be suitable for summer, and so on. So every 3 months I'll have a bit of a look and see if there's anything that needs changing out for something else. But I'm also going to not force myself to use things. So if for instance I'm using a lip pencil and I decide actually I can't stand this, it just doesn't work for me, then I'll declutter it straight away. But if for instance it's just a case of it's not working well with the other items that I'm using, then I'll just put it to one side, swap in something else, and then maybe further down the year I can incorporate it in again and try it again. So I'm hoping this is going to be a good way for me to sort of use up what I've got. I've accumulated a lot of makeup and beauty products in the last 12 months or so. So I'm really hoping that this project is going to be a way for me to try some things that have been sitting in my drawers and haven't even been opened yet. I've got a few things that I'm looking at the period after opening dates. They're getting pretty close. So I really want to try and use some of this stuff up before it goes bad. Really looking forward to this. I'm excited. It's a new challenge. Wish me luck. So with all that being said, let's get into the items that I'm using. So we're going to start off with base products and just work our way through the full face. So first product I've got is a primer. So this is the NYX Angel Veil Primer. I've recently rediscovered this. I bought this probably January, February last year. It's getting old, so I recently pulled it out to have another go at it and decided that I actually really liked it. But as I said, its period after opening time is sort of there or gone. So I really want to get some use out of this. I want to finish it up. I am really enjoying it, so it shouldn't be too difficult. The next thing I've got is foundation. I've got two. So I've got a liquid foundation and a stick foundation. My liquid foundation is the Bourjois Healthy Mix foundation. So mine is in the shade Light Vanilla, number 51. I've had this for a while. I really liked it when I was using it. But during 2019, I bought several new foundations and I really liked a few of them. So this kind of got shoved to the back of the drawer and forgotten about. So I wanted to pull this out again, use it, remind myself why I liked it, or highlight to myself why it's no longer a favourite, one or the other. And yeah, I just want to use it up really. It seems a shame to waste it. You know, I did enjoy it, so it does seem a shame to waste it. So I'm going to try and use it a bit more. It doesn't have massive coverage, so it is quite a light coverage foundation. So I am wearing it today, but it doesn't give me the coverage that I'd really want for filming. So this is probably going to get used as a day-to-day foundation, which is fine. That is what I usually wear. But I have discovered a lot of new foundations this year, and I kind of want to use this up so that I can get back to the things that I've discovered and really enjoyed. So that's that. And then we've got the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation. And this is in the shade Porcelain. Now, when I bought this, it was too light. It's far too light for me. So I'm going to try and use this in conjunction with the Bourjois foundation. I might end up using it a bit sort of like a highlighting stick. I'm not sure how this is going to work, but I want to give it a go. It's not a cheap foundation. Hourglass is not a cheap brand, so I really want to try and get some use out of it. I want to see if I can find a way to use it up, so that's why I've put that in here. So that is my foundations. Oh, and I forgot to mention as well, I've already made a note of all the weights. I've taken any photos that I need to take photos of. So I'm going to try and insert those in as I'm talking about the products. So we've got the primer, which is at 30 grams at the moment. So the Bourjois foundation is currently weighing in at 113 grams. And then the Hourglass foundation is weighing in at 48.5 grams. So that's those. And then we've got concealer. My focus for concealers is the Pony Effect concealer. I bought this from Yes Style in April or May, I think it was. I actually quite like this concealer. I think it gives really good coverage. It's not necessarily my favourite colour, but it's really hard to buy things online. But in saying that, that's how I have to buy most of my foundations and concealers, so most of it's guesswork, and that's how come the Hourglass foundation ended up being too light, because it's not something that I can just sort of try before I buy. So products like this, I do struggle getting the right shade. But it's not a terrible shade for me. I make it work. It's more a spot concealer for me, because it is it's closer to my skin tone, but I do use it under my eyes to try and cover any dark circles, and I find it works really well. So yeah, so want to get some more use out of this. Oh, and this is currently weighing in at 24 grams. So next we've got powder, and the powder I want to focus on is my Huda Beauty powder. Now this is something that I have been using anyway, so I'm hoping that that means it won't be too difficult to try and use some of it up. But the reason I've chosen this over some of my other powders is because this has got the shortest shelf life. So my other powders seem to have a 2 to 3 year period after opening life on them. This one has got 18 months. So I really want to try and get some use out of it. I've had it probably about 9 months already, and I haven't really used a lot. That's mainly down to the way that I use it. I don't use it as a baking powder. I tend to use it more as a setting powder, and that naturally means that I don't use a lot of it. I know some people, when they use a setting powder, they use it all over, they use a lot of it. I don't feel that I need to do that, and actually I find if I use a lot of any kind of powder on my face, it can make me look a bit crepey and old, so I use it sparingly. It's just the way I like to use powder, nothing about the product. So I want to try and get some more use out of it. So I want to try and not dabble with any other powders for a while. I just want to focus on this. And this is currently weighing in at 102 grams. But the more I use it, the easier it might be to see how much I've used, because you'll be able to see it on there. But at the moment there's a lot of product sitting in the netting, so I don't think that'll be a very accurate way to mark this. We'll see how we go as we're using it. So the next product I've got is setting spray. So it's more of a fixing spray than it is a setting spray, but this is the Revolution Cooling Fixing Spray. I had this probably about a year or so ago, so it's got a 12-month shelf life on it. I really want to try and get this used up. It's not my favourite, as you can tell. I've barely used it. I've marked where it is at the moment, which is there. So it's pretty full. I think I probably used it a handful of times before I discovered other things I liked better. But I don't want to waste it. It's not terrible. The only thing I really don't like about this is the sprayer on it. It's violent, so I don't think I'm going to be able to use it after I've done my makeup. It might be something that I use just to sort of fix down my foundation and powder, because that's something that I might be able to sort of pat in. If I put it on after I've finished a full face, it's going to disrupt everything. So I'm going to have to find a way to make this work. If needs be, I'll try and find another container for it. It works better. Maybe I can find something with a different sprayer. We'll see how it goes. And this is what this project's all about, really. It's all about trial and error, trying things that you've got, seeing if you like them, how you like to use them, finding ways to use them. So that's one of those products for me. Next, we've got bronzer. And the bronzer that I've chosen to put into my project is an oldie but a goodie, but this one is old. It is the Benefit Hoola bronzer. So it's the original one, and I've had this for a while. I really want to get it used up. I actually have a backup of this, so I don't need this one sitting around anymore, but at the same time I don't want to waste it. And also, there's not a massive amount left. So if I can just use this up, I will be so happy. So that's why I've put it in. As you can, like I said, I've used a lot already. I've already got pan on it. But if I can just use it up, that'll be fabulous. I'm hoping over the next 3 months that I'll be able to finish this up or get to a point where I can just throw it out and not feel too bad about it. So that's why that's in here. And this is currently weighing at... Okay, so this is currently weighing in at 38 grams. So next we've got a blush, and my blush is another Benefit product. And again, it's something that I've had for a long time. I loved this blush. It's the Havana. I love the colours that are inside it. I love that blending it all together just gives you a nice colour, a nice effect. You can see I've used quite a bit of it. I've got a little bit of pan showing in the middle. The gouge marks are where my son got at it, which is how come my packaging is in 2 parts. But I rescued it from him, and I think that was when I realised that I haven't used this for a while. I kind of want to get some more use out of it. It's not my favourite blush now, but I did really like it, and I do want to get some more use out of it. I don't think this is something that I'm going to be able to finish this year, but it is something that I want to have a really good go at. So that's why that's in here, and I'm dropping it on the floor already. And the blush is currently weighing in at 42 grams at the moment. So next product is highlighters, and I don't have a powder one, which I'm not sure how that's going to work with all my other products being powder based, but we'll see. But I want to try and target this Milk Makeup highlighter. So it's just a little mini one. It's one I got in, I think it was my last cohorted subscription box. I no longer get cohorted. That's a whole other story. I thought it was really cool. I really like the colour of it. It's not sort of in your face. It's quite just light and pretty. But I don't really use cream products, so I think the only time it got used was when I opened it and swatched it, and that was about it. So I really want to try and get some use out of it, because Milk Makeup is a brand that I've heard some really positive things about. So I really want to try this product. I want to see if I can get on with it. I want to see if I can use a cream product and not freak out about it. As I said, I do normally use powders, so cream products are a bit out of my comfort zone, but it is something that I'm intrigued by. I want to try it, I want to test it out, and I think this is a perfect way to try and do that. So that's why that's in here. You can see there's not a lot in here anyway. I think there's only about 3 grams. Yeah, there's 3 grams of product in there, so that's literally all there is. That's all the way out. So I'm hoping that I can really crack on with this over the next couple of months. But yeah, I'll let you know. So this is weighing in at 16 grams currently. Like I said, the product itself is only 3 grams. So hopefully by the time I've finished, we should be 3 grams lighter. So next we've got an eye primer. And I was going to try and use my favourite eye primer, because it is old and I do need to get rid of it, but I currently can't find it. I don't know where it's gone. So instead I decided to put this one in. So my favourite one is still the Urban Decay Primer Potion, but my favourite one is in the shade Eden. This one is in the shade Sin. I'm not a fan of this. I don't mind it. It's not horrendous and I can use it, but I just don't like it as much as I like the Eden. I don't like the shimmery base for eye products. I'd rather have a plain base. So yeah, for that reason I would prefer to be using the Eden. But I do have this and I don't hate it, but I do also want to get rid of it. So I thought, again, this is a perfect way to try and do that. Target it, use it up, get it out of my stash, and then I can get things into my collection that I actually want to use more regularly. And this is currently weighing in at 18 grams. Okay, so next we've got eyeshadows. So I've got two different products here. I've got a palette and I've got a single. So my palette is the Viseart Liaison palette, and she looks like this. Very pretty in purple. So I bought this last year. I love purple, but I've found that I've not used it a lot, which, to be honest, could be said for most of the palettes I've bought this year. It's a problem. But I really do like the colours in this. They work really well together. I find that it's a palette that if I am using, I can just create a nice, simple, easy look really quickly. I just want to target it. I want to try and get some more use out of it. With it still being winter, I figured this kind of colour story is something that I'm more likely to get some use out of. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to use other palettes. I'm definitely going to be using other palettes. I don't like to use muted colours, neutral looks all the time. I quite like using a lot of colour. And I think that's why I haven't sort of reached for this an awful lot. But it is a good palette and I do want to get some use out of it. But I think I need something like this project to sort of make me focus on it. Remind myself that it's there and use it. So if I've got it in my basket of Project Pan, I can just go, right, don't want to think about my makeup today, using my Project Pan stuff. There you go, eyeshadow sorted. And that is currently weighing in at 119.5 grams. There was 14 grams of product in here when it started. Obviously it's not brand new, I have used it a few times, but I'm hoping that if I can use this a lot over the next few months, that will decrease that weight a lot. And then the eyeshadow single is this from Illamasqua. Can you see that? Sort of. There you go. So it's from Illamasqua and it is the Iconic Chrome Pigment Paint and it's in the shade Iconic. And I remember getting this. I had this in a Glossybox and I think it was an Easter egg. I think it was the Glossybox Easter egg. And I remember trying this on my finger, swatching it and falling in love with it. And I have never used it. So I was going through my things, trying to decide what to put in this project. I saw this. Again, I swatched it and went, "You're beautiful." So I'm putting it in. Again, I think it's a good colour for this time of year. So that is it on the finger. And that is what it looks like on the arm. Come on. Stop focusing on my face. There you go. So it's got an orangey pinky shift to it. And I just think it looks beautiful. But I've never worn it and it makes me sad to think it's just sitting there not being used. So again, I thought this was the perfect opportunity to give it a go. So this is currently weighing in at 44.5 grams. Hopefully I can get some use out of it and reduce it a bit. I think, what is that? There's 5 grams of product in here, so I don't expect to finish it, but I would expect there to be sort of a bit of a dip going on by the time I've finished with it, so fingers crossed. Okay, so next we've got eyeliners, and the first one is a liquid eyeliner. So this is the Ico London Black Magic eyeliner It's a liquid eyeliner and wide lash. I'm not sure what that means. I would need to look that up. But it says it's waterproof, lash enhancing, precision brush and carbon black. And when I was looking for things to put in, I came across this, and the tip just looked so thin, and when you try it out, it's just really easy to go on. If you're not new to my channel, then you already know that I don't really wear a lot of liquid eyeliner, and the reason for that is whenever I've used it, I've not really liked the way it's looked. I'm not sure whether that's just because I'm not confident using it. I try it, I don't like it, I don't use it again for months. So I want to try and use one fairly regularly, just to test that out really. Is it something that just doesn't work for me, or is it something that I'm just not confident at? If it's something I'm not confident at, then using it regularly, I'm going to get practice, I'm going to get better at it. But I want to know, is it me or is it just a product that just doesn't work for me? And this is currently weighing in at 6.5 grams. Next we've got an eye pencil, so I'm going to use this Bourjois Kohl & Contour eye pencil. Again, it's in black. I think I bought this last year and I've barely used it. I was the kind of person that always wore black in the lower waterline until I realised that that was actually making my eyes look a lot smaller. So I now don't do that. But I don't really wear eyeliner on the top lashes an awful lot either. Again, is it something that I can't do because of my eyes, or is it something that I just can't do? So I want to try and get some use out of this. So this will be for days where I'm really not feeling having a go at the liquid. It'll be for days where I've got to go somewhere. I don't have time to mess it up. I'm more able to fix pencil mistakes than I am liquid eyeliner mistakes. So that's why I've got this one in here. So this is a product that I haven't weighed, but I will insert a little picture so that you can see where we're currently at. And then, like as I said, I'll mark it as we go through the months so that you can see how much I've used it. So next we've got mascara, and for this one I want to try and use up my Hourglass Caution Extreme Lash Mascara. So I've had this open for a little while. I want to use it up before it goes bad. I really like this. It was in my favourites and fails video for 2019, but I kind of pushed it to one side to use the Nars Climax mascara for a while, and I do really enjoy it and I don't want to waste it, so I want to try and use it up pretty quick. So if I put it in my project pan, something that I use every day, I'm going to do that no problem. That probably won't last the 3 months. I'll probably be putting another one in next month, if I'm totally honest. One, I don't think there's a lot left, and two, I think it's probably going to have dried out or not be any good to wear by then anyway. So I just want to try and get some use out of it this month, and that is currently weighing in at 22 grams. So next we've got brow products, and we've got the Benefit Goof Proof brow pencil. So mine is in the shade number 5. It's just a mini, and there's only this much left. Again, I've taken a photograph of it on a piece of paper. I'll be able to mark it off as I'm using it. I'm not even sure how many brow pencils I've got at the moment. I've had several this year through subscription boxes. So this is the oldest one I've got. I want to just try and use it up, and then I can try out the others a little bit more frequently and see if I like them. I do enjoy this one, so I don't think it's going to be too difficult to use up. But like I said, it's the oldest one I've got, so that's why this one's in here. And then the other thing I've got is this. So it's the Innisfree Skinny Brow Mascara. I bought this with my Yes Style things. It's getting old, It's not really the right colour for me. It's a bit on the light side, as you can see there. I have been making it work for me, but I just want to try and target it a little bit more, see if I can get it finished, get it gone, and then maybe I can try and invest in something that's a bit more my shade and potentially a bit more enjoyable to use. It does feel a bit crunchy on the brows, which I don't really enjoy, but I bought it and I didn't want to just sort of leave it sitting here if it wasn't completely unusable. So again, Project Pan, perfect way to try and target it. That's why that's in here. And this is weighing in at 13 grams. So now we're on to lip products, and the first one I've got is a lip liner, and this was from Illamasqua. It's the colouring pencil, and this is in the shade Raw, R-A-W. So that's what this looks like. Just a little bit of a swatch. So when I was going through my products to try and decide what to put in my project, I found this pencil, I opened it up, I realised I hadn't even swatched it. Again, I think it's something I've had in a subscription box, either a Glossybox or a Look Fantastic. But yeah, and I just sort of thought, oh dear, maybe I'll have a look at this one. So I swatched it. I wasn't overly enamoured with the colour, I'll be totally honest. I looked at it and went, oh, that's a bit light. I'm not sure I'm going to get on with that. But then I'm also including a lip gloss in my Project Pan. And I thought, oh, but as a nice light colour under a lip gloss, that might work. So I've tried it today and I don't hate it. So I might actually get on better with this than I thought I would. It does feel a bit dry and like tuggy as you're putting it on. So I don't think it's going to be, you know, a wow product, a favourite for me or anything. But I think maybe I'll get on with it better than I thought I would when I was originally deciding what to put in. So we'll see how we get on. And again, this is something that I haven't weighed. I've just taken a photo of it on a piece of paper so you can see where we're at. Next we've got a lipstick. So we've got this one. It's from L'Oreal. It's the Colorish matte. It's from the Colorish matte range, and it's in the shade Erotique. It's a really pretty colour. I really like this colour, and you can hear the but coming in my voice, can't you? Love the colour. Don't mind the formula. It's not too dry. It's not something that's transfer proof, but I don't mind that too much. If I've got time to touch up a lipstick, then I don't mind doing that. I hate the smell. Absolutely hate the smell of L'Oreal lipsticks. It's the only one I have at the moment because I bought it, hated the smell, realised that it wasn't a this lipstick's off smell, that's a this is a L'Oreal lipstick smell, and went, I'm not buying anymore. But it is a really pretty colour, so I want to try and use it because I haven't used it enough to decide whether the smell is something that lasts a long time or whether I just open it up and go, no, I don't want to use it. So I want to try and sort of force myself to use it a little bit and try and get some use out of it. Maybe if at the end of the month I decide actually no, the smell is just too much, I can't stand it, I'll declutter it then. But if it's not too bad, I'm going to try and get some use out of this before I get rid of it, because it's going to have to go one way or another. It's going to have to go. It's just the kind of product that every time I see it I just go, nope, don't want to. So I'm going to try and force myself to, just to try and get some use out of it so it's not a completely wasted product. But we'll see. And this, for some reason, I've just realised that I haven't weighed it I've only taken a photo of it, but that's where it's currently at now. I might weigh it just after I've filmed this video, just so that I can see what it actually weighs in at. I don't know why I've done that. I must have been having a moment. So next we've got a liquid lipstick, and this is another Bourjois product, and it's the Rouge Edition Velvet, and this is in the shade, I don't know, it just says Velvet 27. I'll see if I can find out what that means. I feel like it may have been called Cafe au Lait. I'm not sure. I'll have to try and put the info on if I can find it. But this looks... I've just put that on the top of that highlighter. Hang on a second. Let's try this again. So that's what that looks like. Again, I've had this for quite a while. I want to try and get some use out of it before I throw it out. It's more of a browny nudie colour, so I've got a pinky colour, I've got a sort of beigey nudie colour, so I've got a bit of a choice of things that I want to use, and that is currently weighing in at 28.5 grams. And then lip gloss, so I've got I Heart Revolution, and this is in Praline or Praline, however you pronounce it. Again, this is just something that's getting a bit old. Still smells amazing though. Actually smells of praline. That's the colour of it. As I said, I'm wearing it now. I think it works well over the top of that lip liner. I don't typically love lip glosses, but I did find that this particular line I actually quite enjoyed. I had 3 of them. I had them in it was a chocolate bar palette like box things. There was I think there was 3 chocolate bar palettes, there was a couple of highlighter blusher palettes, and there was these in there. There was 3 of them. There was this one, a black cherry one, and a caramel one I think there was. They all smelled amazing. Really was quite surprised by the lip glosses, because I remember pulling them out and going, not really going to bother with those. Tried them anyway and didn't mind them. They're not super sticky or gloopy or anything like that. But I have tried some other Revolution lip glosses. Hated them. I want to try and get through them because I don't wear lip gloss typically. But as I said, I didn't mind these too much. So I just want to try and get some use out of them. So I'm putting this one in now. Hopefully I'll be able to use it up and incorporate another one. Really, I just want to try and use them before they go bad. So that's that. And this is currently weighing in at 21.5 grams. And then we've got a lip balm. So for this one, I've got the EOS or EOS, Evolution of Smooth it stands for. And I had this in my first Look Fantastic box before I started my channel, so you won't find it on there, but it's done really well. When you get them new, they're in a dome shape, and obviously you can see this is pretty flat. So I've used quite a lot, but I noticed the other day it doesn't really smell the way it was supposed to smell to start with. I think it was a coconut fragrance, and now it just smells like lip balm. So I want to just get it gone. I want to just use it up, get it gone before it goes bad. I know that it goes into the actual component, but I think once it's flattened off and I can't just apply it to my lips naturally, I'm going to call it done. I'm not that desperate for it. I quite like it. I enjoy it. It works for me, but I don't love it enough to work that hard to get the product out. I have since realised that I don't actually like the design of these. I like the product, but I don't like the design. It makes it really awkward to try and get it precisely where you want it. So I want to just finish it up. It is currently weighing in at 22 grams as well, but as you can see, there's not a lot left. I'm probably not going to get much of a weighing out of this. It's probably just going to be a case of, hi guys, it's finished, see ya. So that's that. And then I did put in a nail product as well. I haven't put in any nail polish as such, but I have put in my Nailtics protein formula. Reason for that is I forget to use it. So I've got one of these currently sitting in my empties basket, and it's just because it went thick and gloopy before I could finish it. So I've got this one. I want to try and use it up. I actually want to try and do something with my nails this year. I love this stuff. It really does work. I find if I use this even for just a week, recommended time to use this is 2 weeks, but if I just use this for a week, I can see the difference. It's that good. I really enjoy using this, but I just forget to use it. I use it for about a week and then I forget all about it, and then I use it again a few months later, forget all about it again, and then it goes off. So later on I am going to file my nails, buff my nails, and I'm going to apply some of this lovely stuff. You can see I've marked it to see, even though you can see sort of where it is, I have put a mark on so that we can mark the progress as we go down. So that's where we are on that one. And the last thing I've got is a perfume. So I've got a few perfumes on the go at the moment, but this is probably one of the oldest I've got in my collection. It's probably about 1.5 years, nearly 2 years old, and it's the Vera Wang Princess. As you can see, I have used it, I just haven't used it a lot. I like to vary my perfumes, but I'm worried that if I don't start sort of targeting this one, because it's such a big bottle, I'm not even going to get halfway through it. So I really want to try and get some use out of it. I love the smell. It's sort of floral and delicate. I just really enjoy wearing it. I've marked on the bottle where we are, so again you'll be able to see the progress as we go down the bottle. I think realistically I've got a way to go before we pass the hard part. As you can see, obviously it thins out, the bottle sort of narrows out towards the bottom, so I think once I've got to about here it's going to be a lot easier to use up, but I need to get to that point first. I don't think I'm past the hard part on this at all, so I really want to try and get some use out of this over the next few months at the very least, so that's why that's in here. I did think about putting some body products and skincare products and hair care products into my project pan, but I decided that that's not something that I really struggle too much with. There are a few bits and pieces here and there that I forget to use, but at the moment I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to incorporate those. If partway through the year I think, do you know what, I'm really struggling to use certain items, I might incorporate certain items in, but I don't see the point in just sort of sitting here going, so this is a face cream I use religiously every day without fail. It's not a challenge. It's not something that I need to focus on, whereas the products that I've just talked about, they're things that I don't necessarily get any use out of, or I don't feel like I get enough use out of. So I'm not including anything like that at this point, but I might later on. We'll just see how we get on. So that is all of the products that I'm using for my project pan this year. Hopefully it's something that I enjoy doing and that I can get on with really well, and I can use it to get some use out of the products I've got, find some new loves maybe, realise the things that I don't love so much. So if you've got any thoughts on any of the products that I've talked about today, maybe you know a way I can use them differently or more effectively, let me know if you're doing a project pan. Let me know the kinds of things that you're including in your project. I'm really curious. I really enjoy watching project pans, because I think sometimes you can get some ideas on how to use things, on how to use some of your own things, and I think sometimes it can inspire you to use your own things as well. So yeah, I'll definitely still be watching other people's, but yeah, just let me know what you think. That is it for me for now. As I said, I'll check in again next month, but for the time being I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all again in another video very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.